Their message was that God is a woman, she's here on the planet in physical form, and her name is Amy Carlson.
Respect your mother. Humanity, respect your mother. Do not fall in line with this scum that knows no better. Search for your true identity, your divine higher self. It's in there somewhere. It cares about God. It cares so much, it will lay its life down for her, like the rest of creation.
She told me that this planetary ascension or moment of evolution was coming, and I needed to literally drop everything and come right away.
That was not the Amy I knew. I was shocked, very much so.
I remembered her as this happy, loving mom, and then she just left.
This is the Galactic A-Team. So those were Mom's main ambassadors. They were with her all the time. That's Saint Germain, and that's obviously Robin Williams. Every person in this picture is no longer alive, but they're on Mom's etheric team. Carrie Fisher. Elvis is actually Mom's son. Oh, Trump. Well, he's in the physical, but still, he's on the team.
It hurt.
She broke away from us. I call it cut cords. I wanted to hear her. I wanted to know what was going on with her. It wasn't so much listening to them and their cult things. I just wanted to know what was going on with Amy.
We know you all love her.
We found a Skype number. She picked up the Skype. She was very thin. Her teeth were looking terrible. She said she can't walk anymore. And I'm like, she can't walk anymore? Like, what is going on? And I noticed she was blue. I was reading everything that I could, and I figured out it was the colloidal silver. She obviously needed medical help. I said, Amy, I'm really concerned about you. And she laughed in my face and she said, why are you concerned about me? I'm Mother God. And I was just like, okay.
And, every day she would, be like, he's not coming. He's not going to make it. Something's going to stop him from getting back to me. He's not Father. He's not, real. I'm not going to ascend. I'm not going to, this whole mission is fake. I'm not God. I'm crazy. I made everything up. This isn't real. It's just all bullshit. And I was like, everything you say is real. Everything you say is real.
She was telling me how she talks to all these, famous dead celebrities who are, her angels now or something like that.
I thought, maybe there's things happening here that I don't fully grasp. So I tried to just go with the flow.
He said he was doing great things. He was ascending. It was gibberish for me.
He was like a lieutenant to Amy. He always would say, I'm Archangel Michael.
We were starting to be like, what the fuck? Are they picking her up? Are they gonna take the body? Do we have the body? Are we stuck with the body? Mom's body. So,
Who's they?
Who's they what? That they were gonna pick her up? The Galactics. You know what I mean? Our fantasies of the starships, was that gonna happen now that Mom's not in the body to be picked up? We had no idea. We were just praying for a literal miracle.
Have this grand thing that only God could get.
I mean, I literally thought the starship would just come, right?
He said, I've been called to serve. Mother God wants me to come home, and God comes first.
There is your Amy portraying herself as a God figure, and what happened to her?
Amy Carlson.
They called her Mother God.
Mother God.
This is Mother God. 19 billion years old, reincarnated Jesus. We are here to shine the light on truth, and together walk out of the prison of illusion. Exit the matrix.
She believed she was the Messiah for this age of humanity.
She was always training us, going on live streams every day.
We had to organize as a team.
They found a way to monetize their operation.
More people wanted to come. That's when the drama started to kick off.
What's your name?
Father.
of all creation. When God loves you, the pressure comes.
All this energy belongs to us. Surrender! I am God!
I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Just seemed like unreal, like we can't be really watching this.
I've been doing this for 26 years. I used to say, I've seen it all. I don't say that anymore.
There is a mystery there, that's for sure.
Yeah, we haven't gotten all the answers.
Hi everybody. So today I'm going to do a video basically just explaining the astrological difference between the generations of crystal children. So we're all crystal children.
A lot of people ask this question, and there's a lot of different explanations that people give. And I think there is some confusion out there of like, what is the Ascension? What is the process? What does that mean? Welcome to 5D University, everybody. And today's topic is the prophecies of the Golden Age. So, so I felt guided for a few reasons to do this seminar. So this year is the year of the 6. So a lot of the themes this year are around the main themes of this numerology year. So today's probably going to be a little bit shorter, but we still do have a lot of like stuff that came through. So yesterday, like obviously we talked about the root, and the requirement is trust, and you know, for the sacral the requirement is creativity. So the solar plexus, even though we're talking about empowerment in all the chakras, the solar plexus is the main empowerment center. With the throat and the third eye and the crown, this upper area all kind of functions as one. Now, of course, especially I feel probably the biggest block that can occur too is between the throat and the heart chakra.
So I feel like I just wanted to start out by like answering. So I've just kind of by going over the basics of what this class is about, kind of why I got guided to teach it, and you know why it's important for everybody.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to your journey of ascension. Yes, I know that you all think that you've been following along with this with me, and that you know everything there is to know, and maybe you even think that you've already started your journey of ascension, because it's basically been implied that that's what we've been doing this entire time. But allegedly, we needed to do the Awakening Training Program in order to fully start on our journey of ascension. So hello everyone, and how are you all doing today? I hope that you're all doing very, very well, and that you are ready to dive further into the 5D full disclosure cult, which was once known as Love Has Won and run by Mother God, who was found mummified with Christmas lights in a house, and the charges were dropped on all of the people in the house. In case you missed that somehow, they had all had criminal charges, and they were dropped, and then this thing just kind of continued on. But there was a little bit of a breakup. You see, Aurora and her girls and Jason Castillo, they didn't really get along as much anymore. So they kind of split the cult up, and Jason Castillo and his group is now called Joy Reigns, which some of you may have seen Jeff Holiday finally bring up again. And then just recently in his last roundup, I was a very happy woman. And then this sect of it, this area of it, the other half of the cult, if you will, which is run by the usual women that ran Love Has Won when Amy Carlson was too sick to come on and do her daily webinars, her live streams, where they were often high on magic mushrooms and she was drunk and she was insane. These guys call themselves 5D Full Disclosure, and basically they just took everything from Love Has Won, and now instead of worshiping Amy Carlson in the flesh, they worship her as their Jesus reincarnated who came to earth again and then had to go back away. And very soon the mothership is going to come. The Galactics are going to come and save them, blah, 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 blah. So we've been deep diving all of their readings, if you will. They have this amazing library, and we're coming at it from the perspective of people who join it, okay? So when you first kind of get there, what are you told to read first? What are you told to do first? What do you have to learn about first? What are you supposed to be watching and intaking if you're a part of this cult? And so we've actually read through quite a bit. We've done the Ascension roadmap. We've done the glossary. We did Insight of the Awakening. We did the whole guide. We still have to do the ego workbook. There's ceremonies we're getting into. In future, we are going to be getting into dragons. Later on today, you're going to be learning how to go from victim to victor. They have a lot of like meditation like things and things to do with the 7 chakras that we get to get into in future. Dragons. That's fucking fun, right? So, it's really fun. We have a lot of astrology, and this is what we're going to be getting into today, which is their Awakening 101 course. And it's all basically, this too later today, it's all basically to teach you how to go on this ascension journey. Like all of it is surrounding this journey that we are all going on because we are all soul. And we are just in our body's vessels in order to further on this journey in the galactics, if you will, in the universe. Okay. And as we go on, we learn a little bit more and more and more about the cult. And I hope you're seeing kind of it unravel, and you can kind of see how people that are maybe more subject to believe in this new age spirituality kind of stuff could maybe fall into believing in this. None of us are going to ever believe in it. If you're on my channel, you're not here because you believe in this. You're here because you want to laugh at this with me today and learn about what it is that Mother God and Love Has Won and what this cult believes in. Because as I said, a lot of this comes from the writings that Amy Carlson and even a little bit of like any of the Father Gods she had. There's like 10 of them. The latest one was Jason Castillo. Like they've added to it, and what the main people in the household who are running this cult now kind of wrote as their doctrine, if you will. So everything in this library is their repurposed, because they've changed it a little bit, right? Because now she's passed on, so they've had to kind of change it around. As you heard, if you were here for the intro, after she passed away, before they all passed away and they were all still alive, that wasn't how it was supposed to go. They were all kind of supposed to like have the Galactics show up and like take them all up together. And they were all supposed to leave their body vessels together. So when Amy passed away, they obviously had to like rewrite that part of their beliefs, right? It could no longer be, we're all going to go up together. So there's like some things that they've had to repurpose in order to now teach it to the new people in the cult. And right now they're running what they call 5D University. And we're learning this in the order of what we would need to know from beginning to end, it based on what I feel like how they would tell you to do this. Like I said, after you join, there is no real order here, by the way. We're kind of guessing, and I'm reading ahead a bit, and I'm kind of saying, okay, what would we need to know to understand future readings, and that kind of thing. But there is no real like order to this. So a lot of it is repetitive, and you're going to see that. And you're going to think that's because there's no order, and that's a little bit of it. But it's also supposed to be, because it's supposed to indoctrinate you. This is a cult. It's not a new age spirituality. It's not a religion. This is a full-on cult. And so everything is also to manipulate and indoctrinate you. So the repetitiveness is also, I feel, partially on purpose. Like, every single book almost explains to us what the Ascension journey is, okay? You're going to hear the definition of it over and over again. And you're going to be like, why the fuck is it in every book? Well, yeah, there's no order, so they obviously need it explained to them at the beginning of every book. But at the same time, it's because they're literally trying to indoctrinate you into believing you have to go on this journey, or that you're already on this journey. Sometimes they act like you signed a contract with Mother God before you got sent down here, and you agreed to all your pain and trauma in order to like worship her in some weird way. Other times they act like you can come across this thing at any time and then be like, oh shit, I think I'm going to join this journey. I guess it depends on what we're reading. I mean, a cult will be a cult, right? Nothing is consistent. And you'll again notice that as we continue to read on. So every Thursday on my channel, we're deep diving one of the readings. And then there's usually a video in where the cult comes out and they'll explain it to us. So we do the reading, we watch the video, we have fun choosing, like picking it apart and seeing if it's the same thing as what's in their doctrine. A lot of this is from early on, and they're making videos like right now. They have not stopped. A lot of people out here have acted like Mother God passed away and then this thing just ended. No, it actually turned into 2 more cults, but with all the same belief system, and both of them praise Mother God. So it gets confusing a bit. And I was trying to kind of go back and forth in covering them. I've been covering them for a couple years now. And it was just a lot easier if we honed it on one for a while and then the other. And, if there's a big update with Joy Raids, I'll give it to you. But not too much has been happening over there lately. They're just as crazy as ever. And again, all of it is based on these readings. Some of them are pamphlets, so I release them in a video form because they're like 6 pages long. So on Thursdays, we dive through kind of the longer readings. And luckily for us, today's going to be really fun because we're going to actually be doing a training program. So everything is put into courses. But then they're not really courses. You'll see what I mean as we go along. Nothing is supposed to make sense here. You want it to. You'll try to make it make sense in your head because as human beings, we try to find logic and we try to make sense of everything. But just kind of go with the flow here, all right? We're on this ascension journey. We believe Mother God is the reincarnation of every single famous person you can think of in history. Pretty much, like, I'm not lying. From Cleopatra to fucking Jesus, okay? Like, not only that, but she has a whole galactic team of many of them who's passed away, like Robin Williams. But don't worry, Trump is on it. So there's a few people on it that are still alive. And they're going to come and they're going to save us all from Earth and take our souls from our body vessels. But first we have to like go through this journey of awakening in order to be able to do that. Otherwise, we're going to get left here to rot. We don't want that. Hello, Violet. Good to see you. I'm so glad you could be here. Hello, Joe. Yes, everyone, please remember that the auto mods are in effect, so please watch your swearing and etc. Hello, Devil's Advocate. Good to see you. Hello, Jack. I hope you're having a great day. Hello, Louisiana Swamp. Look this up. My first exposure to this stuff. Ooh, it's fun. Mother God isn't real. See, the whole belief system was that God was a woman, not a man, and that it was Amy Carlson. Like they basically said in the intro, that was it. And then it's weird because then she said she had to reincarnate as Jesus, which I feel takes away from that whole like empowerment as a woman thing. But whatever, you know, tomato, tomato. Joe says this is a textbook cult. Yes, like all the way to the point where they were living together in a household as if it was a compound. And they all met like off the internet, by the way. Which is what kind of makes this one a little different than a lot of the other ones, is that most of the people in this cult met online through the like streams that they were doing and whatnot. Newbie on this topic looking full insane after only a few minutes. Oh, it is. And it just gets more and more insane. Only 8 minutes late. That's okay. You know, I have the long intros. A lot of people come late because they're like, Queen has like 5-minute intros. So I'll check in like 10 minutes in, and then she should be close to covering it. In the name of the Mother, the Daughter, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Like, I would have no problem with it, but she just, of course, wasn't consistent with it. So she would be like, oh yeah, I was reincarnated as like Cleopatra, and list all these wonderful, strong women. Joan of Arc was one. You know, things like that. And I was like, oh yeah, that sounds wonderful and empowering, I guess. Girl power. Jesus and God's a woman. Yeah. But then she would be like, and then I was Jesus. How you know him to be Jesus. As a male. And then it kind of takes away from that, doesn't it? Like, I'm like, why didn't she just keep the woman theme going, you know? And it's just weird. Everything about this is weird. So let's just get right into it. It's 42 pages, so I'm hoping we can cover it in 2 streams and then get into the video portion. There's a couple of videos that we might be watching in a row on this because of the fact that this is a training program. And as I stated, they're teaching at their 5D university. This is like the first course you would have if you were doing the university. But it's also in their library, so everyone's supposed to read it. I love how they're like presented by 5D Full Disclosure, like anyone else would give a fuck about this. So I love this because they have like courses. So course 1 is what is the Ascension? Like I said, we're going to hear it over and over. Course 2 is the story of creation. So far, I don't feel like either of those are really courses. I guess like kind of like lessons, but I'm expecting the courses to like teach me more than just the starting story of the cult, you know? Course 3, Mission Earth Activated. I'm like, okay, that sounds like more actionable. Let's go. Course 4, Age of Aquarius Codes. Course 5, Everything is Energy. Course 6, Ego Programmed Mind. Course 7 is Transformation Tools, which, yeah, okay, I'm sure we would need to know that as we're going on this ascension journey. And at the end, of course, wait until you hear what happens at the end. Court 8 is Balanced Harmonics. Court 9, Angels and Guides. Course 10 is Healing Karmic DNA. And then we sound like Bob Larson, who comes over to everyone that he does exorcists with, and he'll be like, your ancestors have cursed you for generations. And I'm like, what? Why is it always like this weird karmic DNA shit? Like, what is that about? Jack says Trump will probably take our souls. That could be true, right? Maybe he is the demon. Are these the kind of people where they don't believe in washing their hair or wearing lipstick? Not really. They were kind of narcissistic about their looks, if anything. 5D is a mathematical concept. Mm-hmm. Demons. Yeah. The demons don't do much math here. A little bit of weird physics. I'll give them that. So course 1, what is the Ascension? And yes, the whole thing is like this. Okay. It looks like it was made in Canva. It's very hard on the eyes. I apologize. There's not much I can do about that. It's on the fucking background of a sky, and then it's white writing, and then the green, it's just a lot. The Ascension or awakening is a remembering more than it is a learning or seeking. And then you're like, but you called it a fucking journey. Like, what? Our cosmic origin is embedded within our DNA and activates once the vessel is ready to handle the process of awakening. Do you see what I mean? Like, now it sounds like we aren't in the process of awakening. We aren't on this journey. And we have to, like, get to a point to be ready for it and then do it. Awakening begins differently for all souls, but many find that when they have reached rock bottom, a place of pain, suffering, depression, fear, or despair, the light turns on. Really, those people are just very vulnerable, and it's easier to manipulate them into a cult like this. I'm just saying it how it is. Or when our belief systems, or life as we know it, is suddenly shattered by a revelation, piece of information, a relationship, a calling. When this point a shift begins, it's really just life, right? Like life events. It can never be stopped. Usually when life events stop, that means once you begin seeing through the veil of illusion, you can never go back. And I'm like, oh, great. So we're all delusional. We're the delusional ones again over here. Okay. For many souls, this is why their awakening takes so long. Every soul on the planet, except those of the dark who are considered aberrations, I guess I would be one of those, I don't know, has a higher self that is navigating their human vessel / personality through their lifetime. Remember, whenever it's like vessel, it means like your body. You are soul, your spirit, if you will. And then you're just borrowing this body, this human vessel thing. It's just like a car right now to go on this ascension road. The higher self cannot come through to the vessel if the vessel is traumatized, wounded in the ego mind, low vibrational, etc. For this reason, many souls never wake up, which that sounds awful, because the shock to their consciousness through an awakening would be too overwhelming for them to handle, physically, mentally, and emotionally. This is how they explain their us versus them mentality, to explain why they believe in all this and they're doing this and then other people are not, right? The power of Christ compels you.
Power of Christ compels you, bitch.
There you go, Joe. Except 5D has to do with gravity or some such. I guess they chose it because it sounds esoteric. Yep, sort of. Dark souls. See, their thing is like, you know what 2D is, right? 2-dimensional. When it comes to like drawings, let's say, or something like that, you have a 2-dimensional drawing. Then you got 3D, right? So they come at it with that view, and then they add like the 4D and the 5D on. And instead of it being like just drawing dimensionals on paper and whatnot, you live that way in your life. Except in this case, if you're 2D, it just means you're a normal person who's not in this cult at all. And you like don't believe in this. You're one of these dark, those of the dark people, okay? You're not doing it. So, and that's how they get like the us versus them, because they have to explain, right, why they're special and they're going through this, but then like nobody else in the world is. we all look at them like they're fucking crazy, you know? This sounds a lot like off-brand Scientology. It is. In a way, it very much is. It has a lot of the exact same sorts of belief systems. Although it's like a galactic force led by Mother God instead of a bunch of extraterrestrials that come save you. But it is very much like the same idea. The same idea that you have to like go on this magical journey here on Earth and that you like agreed to this contract so that you could go on this journey and then eventually be taken up into the space, you know? It's very much that kind of thing. If your vessel is wounded, you should see a doctor or therapist. Yes, and not go into a cult. I mean, that will get you a lot more help for it. I have a 3D stock account for sovereign citizens. They never got the joke. So yeah, that's basically their way of being like, we're all special and we're all on this journey to get to our higher self. And I know there's a bunch of people out in this world that aren't doing it, but that's just because they're these people, okay? The higher self cannot come through to the vessel if the vessel is traumatized, wounded, in the ego mind, low vibrational, etc. That's weird to me, by the way. And you're going to see why, like, I guess it kind of explains in a way why they have the victim to victor mentality. But once I release that short little pamphlet later on today, remember that they said this while you're listening to that video, and you're going to kind of be like, well, what the fuck? Again, it's contradicting. They make it sound as if you're supposed to go through these traumas and wounds and like have the ego mind for a while, like you're supposed to be going through problems. You signed on for them. So it's weird. For this reason, many souls never wake up because the shock to their consciousness through an awakening would be too overwhelming for them to handle physically, mental, and emotionally. That's their way of putting this on you. It's not their fault that you're not in the cult, okay? You're not in this cult because you're the type where it might be too overwhelming for you. So it's a really good thing that we have this course to like check, okay? And every page has the green course 1, whatever course it's on, and then the name of the course, like you forgot. You forgot from page 3 to page 4 what it was fucking called or something. Once the soul has passed a certain amount of life lessons, and even here, the way that they put it makes it sound like, again, you're supposed to be going through these traumas and like life lessons and stuff. And it reaches the point of desperation within the human experience, which I hope not everybody experiences like that much of a low, you know? This is when there is enough heart opening to allow the higher self to come through. The higher self orchestrates many tests, challenges, and choice points, which that doesn't sound fun, for the human self to experience. Again, makes it sound like, yes, you're supposed to, in order to prepare the vessel for the anchoring of the higher self. Once again, they make it sound like, yes, you're supposed to go through that. That's what gets you ready for your higher self. So if you like don't go through it, like, you know, it's weird. Awakening is the process of undoing, remembering, and deprogramming. I argue it's really just the process of them programming you, indoctrinating, and manipulating, but maybe that's just me. It is the return to childlike wonder, which that was fun when I was a kid and everything, and I get to live that a little bit being a mom, like through my daughter and whatnot. I don't know if I want to go back to that naivety. Like, you know, do I want to ever be that naive? Because that's really just being a naive child, is it not? Like, what do they mean by that? Unconditional love, which I would hope all of us have found in our adult life anyway. Freedom. Am I not free? This thing tells you that you sign a contract with Mother God before it sends you down to Earth, okay? Like you've already signed away your soul as if she's the fucking devil, Satan himself. And then it keeps telling me about freedom. And I'm like, I don't know if you're aware of what the actual definition of freedom is. I'm just saying the truth, which, again, is just their truth, not the truth, their truth, and reunion with Source. Source, Mother God, because she's the mother of all creation. So she's the source of all creation. She created everything. So she's Source, right? This process can be painful, but it is beautiful and incredibly profound. If they have to say it, I doubt it's true. Usually if something's profound, it doesn't have to be like, by the way, that was really profound. It is the only real thing in existence. Like, what the fuck? The soul's journey home to Source. This is where, like, you kind of can see how when you get sucked into this thing, your entire life and every moment of every day becomes this part right here. Because the only real thing in existence is the journey home to Source that your soul goes on to leave your body vessel, right? And go see Mother God. And they claim that they have all of the ways in which you get ready to do that. They claim that they're going to take you on that whole ascension journey. And then that you also have to be one of them, obviously. And like in this thing, in order to go home to Source. So it ends up wanting to replace their entire life purpose with this. And if you're the type of person that falls into this and then allows that to happen, you know, you can see how people get further and further indoctrinated into this and why they were just doing constant fucking live streams all the time. Because it was constantly about helping you on this fucking journey, you know? I'm just trying to find hope in Aurora. They're both here. They're actually the two women that run 5D, full disclosure. They are the new Mother Gods of this, if you will, except they haven't taken over as Mother God. They still worship Amy Carlson in her passed on form. But they are the ones that are teaching this 5D full disclosure stuff to everybody else. That's who it is. It's Hope and Aurora. Unfortunately, there was like a period where I was kind of hoping that they had left. People had left this, like a lot of the main people. And I was especially hoping Aurora had left. I was like, Lauren's been interviewed a bunch. She's been on Dr. Phil and shit. Like, I hope that with Mother God dying and her not like ascending into the fucking galactics to go back to Source, you know, with like Robin Williams showing up and shit. Like when that didn't happen, I was kind of hoping that they'd wake up a bit. But that's not always the case in these kinds of cults, unfortunately. Instead of them waking up and everyone going back to their regular lives, the main people in this thing that were still kind of clinging to it went, how do we carry this on? And then they kind of took over. A lot of them already had access to all of the websites that were going for the Love is One part, right? So it wasn't that hard to just switch it over to 5D. 5D full disclosure and then take it from there, right? It sounds like they wrote that when the mushrooms hit. Yeah, you have to wonder, because I'm pretty sure that Amy Carlson was experiencing some major schizophrenia and whatnot. And you got to wonder how much of this was written when they were high, when she was just having delusions. You know, like she would have delusions and they would act like they were real prophecies and shit. So then her mental health just got worse and worse and worse. Good luck, Joe. So it kind of sucks in that way. So they say this process will require physical healing, emotional healing, mental healing, and spiritual healing. And I'm like, ain't that what we are here for? Is that what you're supposed to provide us with? It also requires self-love, dedication, surrender, right? And if people ask to like use that too, kind of against you, like there's this whole thing where you have to like surrender yourself to God and all that. That is a way to manipulate you and indoctrinate you more. And trust. Yeah, trust in them. Many belief systems and attachments get purged in the alchemical fires of the ascension process, and this is where we often see it as painful. Like, okay, whatever the fuck that means. However, this process is truly about ripping the band-aids off of the wounds that already have by giving them the attention and healing. This is how we transcend pain and suffering, which you're not supposed to be feeling, but anyway. Now we get homework. Oh yeah, we get homework. Homework. Read through the Ascension Roadmap Guide. We have, thank you. And become familiar with the basics of the awakening. We have, thank you. And all of the resources that we have available for you to assist you on your journey. Hold on, some of these are 92 pages long. I'm not just stopping right now and reading everything. Next, read through the Insights of the Awakening Guide. We have, yay, look. These are a list of very simple but profound truths that form the basis of the spiritual awakening. Become familiar with these terms and concepts as they will become a core part of your journey and experience. So you see what I mean? I read ahead. I knew we needed to read these ones because it was the homework. I try to do it in order, but there's no like real order. Because even here, they're like, read everything. It's like, okay. You know? Begin your journey through this course by starting with the process of journaling. Okay. Be consistent with this as it will become one of your greatest tools. Document your thoughts, your feeling, just one of them though, your ideas, your experiences. This helps process the energy of all you will be sensing and feeling. Which, that's not the worst advice to give. Journaling is a great way to figure out lots of things and, keep track of mental health and all that kind of stuff. Excuse me. So it's not like the worst advice ever, but that's just advice on how to get through some difficult emotions, keep track of your mental health and things like that. It shouldn't then be connected to some weird spiritual journey that gets you up in heaven with Amy Carlson. Okay, that's the issue I have. But journaling can help you process feelings better. That's been proven. But in therapy, not in the cult here. Lastly, focus on your breath. Okay? Spend at least a few minutes a day focusing on breathing in deep breaths through the nose and exhaling slow through the mouth. Cut out all thoughts and focus only on the feeling and process of the breath. In other words, meditate. While doing this, we recommend visualizing breathing in love and breathing out love to help raise the vibration of your environment. I mean, that's a nice thought and everything. Not really sure about raising the vibration of your environment, but cool. Now we're on to course 2. Lovely. The story of creation. It's like, how many times do we have to fucking hear about this? But it's good that we go through it every single time, as a lot of people are new here. Maybe you weren't completely aware of this. So let's hear what it says. Earth is the only planet still existing in 3D consciousness. This is the lowest vibrational planet in existence. Awesome. Apparently we're the dumbest planet. Look at that. Earth was a school for souls to incarnate into physical bodies in order to experience the illusion of separation and duality, in order to obtain greater wisdom and experience. Right? The dark ones, those bastards that don't believe in this shit, overtook Earth over 26,000 years ago after the fall of Atlantis and Lemuria. Lemuria was in 5D consciousness and Atlantis was in 3D vibrations. They were dumb like Earth, you know? The lost city of Atlantis, dumb like Earth. Both were inhabiting Earth at the same time. Like, I don't know how, but okay. Mother of all creation was queen of Lemuria. Like, fucking, of course she was, right? And many, so that's, again, Amy Carlson. And many incarnated 144,000, the magic number of spirituality, allegedly, remember their lifetime in Lemuria. Yep, 144,000 people apparently remember this. I don't think they have that many people in their cult, by the way. So I've always wondered why they, like, I get that that's the number that's chosen for most cults and shit like this. But I've always kind of been like, most of the cults do, though, have 144,000 people. So that could make some sense. This one did not. So it, like, really doesn't make sense here. You know what I mean? Mother God was betrayed by her husband, Horus. Gave the Atlanteans 5D technology which they cannot use while being in third-dimensional frequencies. Damn it! As useless as on passive. It's like they just gave them on passive AI, you know? It's just like, Jesus Christ. Is this one of those where if you do it right, you're perfect, no illness, etc.? Yes, it is. It's like, Jesus Christ. That damn husband. Man out here ruining everything. This is why God was a woman. When the Atlanteans used the 5D technology, it caused an explosion between the timelines. Oh no. Oh my God, and then is that how the dinosaurs died? I don't know. Mother God had to quickly make the choice to ascend, which is much different than ascension from the third dimension, okay? Alright, it's not the same thing. And Mother God had to stop the planet and humanity from going into a black hole with like supernatural powers and shit, man. She went up there like a superhero, like Wonder Woman, and just grabbed the earth and was like, no, 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 you don't go in this fucking black hole. This set back the planet fully back. What? Wait, what? This set back? Yeah, that's what it said. I was like, did I fucking read that wrong? This set back the planet fully back. Gotta love how they edited this. To the third dimension. So that's why we're not in the 5D consciousness, you see. Many Lemurians died during the explosion. I mean, yeah. Some escaped to inner Earth. That's the thing. Others were taken captive by the Atlanteans. Oh my God, what happened next? With Mother God off the planet, the Anunnaki came down and pretended to be gods. They took the dream machine technology. Yep, that was a thing. Never mind fucking time travel. Have you ever heard of the dream machine? And implanted the first fearful thought into the collective consciousness. That we are separate from God. Oh my God, it's so scary. That's the most scariest thought in the whole world. This created fearful thoughts into humanity. This is kind of like the whole like free will thing. You know what I mean? This created fearful thoughts into humanity where they forgot their God selves / mother and father God. You know, so if you were out here living up until today and you were wondering how come you never fucking heard of Amy Carlson or Jason Castillo, you know, at least until she was found mummified, which is when like most people found out about this, right? That's why. You just forgot. It was, you know, because of all this stuff going on. The fearful thoughts made you forget about them. After that, they created the ego-programmed mind as a way to keep humanity in states of fear and low consciousness so they could continue to inhabit Earth / have control, as they cannot exist in higher frequencies of love. So, yeah, they're controlling the Earth still. Earth began her ascension process and began moving back into the light. Because Earth is now a being. As humanity struggled to get out of the ego mind, their souls came to, which, by the way, I don't know how they did that, if they didn't remember Mother and Father God or any of that. They don't know about the ego mind, and they're like programmed to start. Like, how would they know to get out? Anyway. Their souls came to Mother of all creation, begging her to assist them. Oh, that's why. We needed a reason to go to her and ask for help. That was it. That's all. Mother and Father God agreed. Good. I'm glad they didn't divorce over that. And began physically incarnating on Earth with the 144,000. And that's a lot of sex. It is. It's a lot of sex. I'm sorry. But Jesus Christ. Unpassive ruins everything. They do. They even ruined the damn creation of Earth. I wonder if it would cause my house to be cleaner. Maybe. I mean, I guess it's sort of worth a try. This programming is so deep, which again begs my previous question. Again, they act like it's the deepest programming. So how would anyone have known and remembered? Part of the programming was that we were supposed to forget about Mother God. So how would we even know that we were on this journey and needed to seek out Mother God and ask for help, right? But anyway, this programming is so deep that no one has been able to make it out of the illusion. Until now. Dun, dun, dun! Mother and Father God, as well as the 144,000 original souls, right? Who are like thousands of years old at this point, have been incarnating on Earth for thousands of years, attempting to ascend the planet, but were killed every time before they were able to do so. Damn it! Another missed opportunity. This time, Mother did it! She did it, everyone! She made it out of the Matrix! She died! She died! That's what she did. That was her big move. She died and she was mummified there, and they decorated her with Christmas lights and kept her in her bed until they were tipped off, the police, I mean, and then the police showed up and they were like, why is there a mummified woman in the bed in this house? This is fucking weird. What are you doing? And they were like, oh, that's our Mother God. And the police were like, oh, okay. You have the right to remain silent, and read them their Miranda rights and took them into jail. They were all facing charges of like, doing stuff to a dead body and those sorts of charges. Nothing sexual or anything like that, but like desecration of a dead body and like, I don't know, a few of those sorts of charges. I covered this, I promise. You can go check it out. And then the judge just kind of was like, these people are too weird. I don't even know if we want them around us and to charge them. I don't even know if I want to spend time trying to figure out all of the evidence and everything of this. Just drop it. Just let them go. They're fucked enough, okay? They believe in this shit. They got enough problems. We'll just kind of, just give them a little slap on the wrist and let them go. So it was pretty much dropped. Like, none of them got any charges, really. I think a couple of them might have had to have taken, like, little plea deals where they ended up on, like, probation. It was nothing. But that's how she made it out of the Matrix, is she died. They had to, as I said at the beginning of this, kind of come up with more of this story and add it on from the beginning of this cult. because she died. And then they were like, oh shit, we got to rewrite some of this. So this is kind of what they wrote in afterwards, right? It was most likely Aurora that wrote this in. She made it out of the Matrix and has transformed all of the pain and suffering for humanity. I didn't know that nobody had any pain and suffering anymore, but okay. She had a 1 in 7.8 billion chance of making it, and she busted all of the odds. We have nothing to gauge this with. We don't know. Like, how the fuck do we check that? You know what I mean? This moment has been prophesized many times, and now it is here. But this isn't how it's originally supposed to be, like I pointed out, but whatever. Every soul that is incarnated on the planet at this time has agreed to participate in the ascension process, okay? You don't know it, but you agreed. You signed that contract. Yeah, you watching this, you. Earth is going back to 5D frequencies, and it means everyone must do the same, whether they are consciously aware of this truth at this time. So I'm like, how the fuck are you supposed to fucking do something if you're not even aware of it? Like, just explain. I don't, like, okay, whatever. Everybody has a unique role in this ascension, as everyone has a unique role to play in all of creation. Again, what happens when you don't join the cult? Like, you know what I mean? Then what about those people? Oh, well, they're in the cabal. Wait. Earth was taken over by the Anunnaki, working on experiments with the Atlanteans to control humanity more and manipulate the DNA. Yep. I guess they created evolution then? I don't know. Once the Anunnaki knew they could not win against the light and the inevitable ascension process, okay, they surrendered back home into the light. They're just like, well, we're not going to beat it. Whatever. See you guys later. Sorry for all the bullshit we caused. Thanks for having us on Earth, guys. Peace. And I guess they went on their way. Then the Illuminati took over. Yes, the Illuminati is in this. Don't tell Beyonce and Jay-Z. They had a group of beings. The grammar's perfect. Who were their slaves? Known as the Cabal. Dun dun dun. I felt like that needed one too. Once the Illuminati realized they also could not win against the light, they too surrendered and went back to the light. Yep. Jay-Z was like, yeah. Illuminati out. And then they just, the Illuminati is just no more. The Illuminati begged the Cabal to also surrender. Did they tell Scientology? I don't know. However, they refused. Because again, we still need the us versus them mentality. Not everyone can, surrender here. The Cabal came into full power in 1996. Told you, we time travel here. We were at the beginning of time. I feel like we skipped over several decades, and now we're just randomly in 1996. After the Illuminati surrendered. Were you aware that the Illuminati ceased to exist in 1996? I wasn't. I've never heard anything about it even existing to begin with. I feel like the actual Illuminati in Hollywood is Scientology, and it's still very much alive, so I don't know. That's just me, though. Since then, the Cabal have been in control of the planet up until recently. Oh, wait, not anymore. When they lost power to the White Hats, which is Amy Carlson, and it was Jason Castillo, Mother and Father God. The Galactic Federation of Light, which that's the group with all the dead people like Robin Williams, who she added as soon as he was dead. And Trump. He's not dead, but he pretty much might as well be, right? The ascension is inevitable. All darkness has no power on the planet anymore as Mother God, Amy Carlson, Mother Earth, has fully completed her ascension process. all right? She's dead, and therefore she ended all the darkness. The Anunnaki and Atlanteans split the right brain and left brain, causing distortions, imbalance, and illusion. The ego-programmed mind was placed into the left brain. This was done so that they could control humanity. Yep, that was quite the sentence too. Through the disconnection that occurred, humanity forgot who they were. Right brain, God consciousness. Yes, so I guess if you're a left brain type person, you just suck. So it then was easy for the Anunnaki and Atlanteans to enslave humanity with all the illusory belief systems, like Christianity, rules, and fear. It was easy to manipulate the collective. Yes, because the whole world is manipulated into one belief system. Yeah, no, that's exactly what's going on right now. To become their servants in the darkness because of illusionary fears that were never real. Remember, they were just implanted into our brains. The right side of the brain is the creative. They need you to be more of a right brain type person, I guess, to want to believe in this, right? Multidimensional God self, because it's the higher connection to the etheric realm, higher thoughts, and God consciousness. It's also more emotional than logical, which works better over here, doesn't it? It is your connection to 5D, Mother God, Amy Carlson, the Galactics, again, that group of people that's supposed to come save you. So don't worry, one day you'll get to meet Robin Williams and your higher self. And Trump, though, some of you might be upset about that. I'd punch him in the nose. Higher thoughts are unlimited, shared within the collective consciousness, and all possibilities exist in 5D and beyond. To 5D and beyond. The left side of the brain, it's the intellectual and logical aspect. The left side of the brain, when out of sync with the right, connects into the primitive reptilian mind, or to the illusion of outside attachments. All outside attachments are an illusion. The brain, like I guess the whole thing, is returning to its original form. That's not good. We don't want that. Come a long way in evolution. The right and left brain are being fused together. Sounds like surgery I don't want to go through. To create the complete awakening into full consciousness. This fusion, this alleged brain fusion, that is taking place is an unstoppable event for all human beings on planet Earth to get back to fully God consciousness. I don't know why they had to yell that at us, but okay. Our advice is to allow, embrace, and let go of all belief systems. Well, sure it is. Including this one then? Okay, see you later. No. All illusions and everything humanity has ever been taught or told. Oh, so you want to reprogram us, do you? Lovely. Currently, those that are resisting are only hiding their light behind fear. You don't want to do that. Now we have more homework. This is our homework. Well, this is going to be work. These are courses. All right? Feel into the information that has been shared. Feel into anything that it triggers. Or anything that gave you body light-ups or chills. Trust what resonates with you. What the fuck does that mean? I don't know. Feel it. Feel it out, dude. Just feel it out. Like, feel it out, bro. Try the following brain activation before you go to rest. Use as many times as you'd like. So I guess you're going to say, all right, I guess this is like a chant, right? Thank you, higher self, angels, galactics, and source for all divine downloads, upgrades, and codes, because I'm an AI. I embrace, accept, and allow all healing. I ask for all brain upgrades, because it's a computer, DNA activations, and heart healing. I command my right brain to overtake my left brain, and for my brain to merge back into oneness. I command my brain to activate its full usage and full consciousness. They know we're not fucking computers, though, right? Next, visualize your brain being lit up with rainbow, unicorns, stars, plasma light. Allow it to heal the brain, because apparently this is all it takes. Activate the pineal gland and connect all neural pathways. Allow the rainbow light to clear out any and all brain density, toxins, heavy metals, and both physical or etheric implants. You might have etheric implants in your head, in your brain. Be careful of that. It's dangerous. I wish the Illuminati was that easy to get rid of. Yeah, that would take away part of the point of it being the Illuminati, wouldn't it? Now we are on to course 3. Mission Earth activated. Once planet Earth was knocked down in consciousness and the Atlantean experiments began, mother and father of creation, along with the 144,000 and many other brave souls from around the cosmos, began incarnating. We knew the only way to ascend the planet was from the inside out. All of you have lived many lifetimes before. If you feel that your soul is relatively new, you may have had less lifetimes than others. Which is confusing to me because, like, aren't these all supposed to be, like, the people from the beginning? So, wouldn't they all be, like, the same age? Like, how are there new ones? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just, okay. But nonetheless, you are the most equipped to be here on the planet now. I hope so, because that's all I was fucking given. Once the Dark Ones realized that all of the angels were incarnating here, they opened up portals to bring all lower entities and lower beings on the planet. This is why Earth is a final battleground. Yay! What the Dark did not anticipate was that once all lower entities and beings came into this realm, the portals were all closed. Well, that's not good, so we can't send the Dark back? Jeez. We're going to be living like that Supernatural show on here soon. All of the Dark is currently trapped here on Earth and cannot leave. Oh my god! The process of this planetary ascension, then, is to raise our vibrations, dissolve the ego, and thus raise the consciousness of the planet to a level the Dark can no longer exist at. See, that's the point. This will dissolve them, and they will be recycled by the galactic central sun. The sun will just eat them up, I guess. Just eat them up! This is the final lifetime and the chosen ascension point. It has been prophesied by many civilizations, including the Mayans and Hopis. December 21st, 2012 marked the day that the ascension truly began as Earth entered the 5th dimension. So I guess all of this was happening between like 1996 and 2012. It's a lot happening between those years in comparison to any other time in our history, apparently. Like, I'm just, that's weird, right? Because they literally say December 21st, 2012 marked the day that the ascension truly began as Earth entered the 5th dimension. Which, I don't know why Earth has entered the 5th dimension already, because I thought we all had to ascend in order for it to be in the 5th dimension. And we haven't ascended yet because the ascension just began. Anyway. See what I mean though? Like, some of this shit doesn't make sense. Since then, we have slowly been climbing up the ladder of ascension, battling through many attempts of the Dark to thwart this plan. We are currently flying through the Phantom Belt at lightning speed, bringing more and more light onto the planet. In order to secure the liberation of Earth, the astral realm was dissolved in 2009 by Mother of Creation and the Galactics. You know, the group of dead people she hangs out with on the astral plane. The astral was the holding place for the lower entities who were occupying the 4D realm, manipulating energies from their realm. We can now see the 4D as a void space. It is essentially a place of time and space that exists between 3D and 5D. Like, no fucking shit, right? Which is where we are currently residing as a collective. The 3D realm is collapsing, and we are in the void of the unknown as we go through the first ever physical planetary ascension. Now we have our homework for course 3, guys. Yay! Do this exercise when you are in a centered place. So I guess you got to meditate first. Cut cords with all lower thoughts, which means like stop thinking of, stop doing, let go of all your lower thoughts, all fears, and all external events. Sit in a meditative position, whatever you are comfortable with a journal. A couple days ago on my channel, I released the Ascension glossary by itself. We've read through it quickly in a stream in the past, but I wanted to have it on its own. So if you do hear any terms that you, for some reason, can't figure out or something on this journey, then you can go and check that out. And it has all of the definitions and terms in it. Take 3 deep breaths. In through the nose and out through the mouth. You know, in case you didn't know how to breathe. Ask your higher self to share any information with you, including any guidance, information, or images. So, basically, like, if you imagine something, like, let's say you're doing this homework, right? So you're sitting there and you're doing your breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, whatever. And you're, like, sitting there and you're asking your higher self, like, hey, higher self, like, should I do this big life event? And then in your mind, you like picture yourself doing the life event because you just brought it up. You know what I mean? You're going to mistaken that as it being a message from your higher self that like, yes, you should. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't like their lessons. It's very, very general and very easy to misinterpret just normal thoughts and images and all of that. Or just everyday things happening around you. Like even a butterfly landing on a fucking flower in front of you, if you happen to open your eyes for a minute, could be taken as a sign. Like, you know what I mean? So because of this, it gets a lot of confirmation bias. Because when people do these activities, they go, oh yeah, I asked it a question. And then in my mind, I pictured myself going through with it. So that was obviously a yes. So my higher self answered me. And it's like, no, you asked like yourself about it. So obviously you're thinking about it. So you're going to have images in your brain about it. Like, you know, especially if you're like a more visual type of thinker. So no, but they have to have it this general and set up so that they can take any of those experiences and manipulate them and say to you, see, that was your higher self. Yes. Very, very good. Sit with yourself and don't try to force anything, which they say, but it's impossible. It's impossible. Just allow things to flow through. Most importantly, do not doubt anything that is coming through. And this is where we get cognitive dissonance. Because, like, to just be like, don't doubt anything that comes through to you, like I said, they leave it open like this so that they can misinterpret everything as being the lesson. And then you're just not supposed to doubt it. So you're not supposed to have any kind of fucking thinking skills. No critical thinking skills at all. Just accept it all. You know what I mean? Is there no sound? Tell me. Tell me if you can't hear me. Because it's all good on my end. My brain has never been activated. Right? You can hear Jack? I think it's just you, Joe. I hope. All right, awesome. Thank you guys. So this whole thing just pisses me off when they tell people to do these exercises and they're all like this no matter what. Like everything about this seems so general. Everything you're supposed to take as like a message from Mother God or whatever. It's all just so generalized and it makes the manipulation tactics that much easier here. And the thing is that once that happens, right, and you're just expected to not have any critical thinking skills and question it at all, like once that happens once, where you have one experience where you're like, oh, my higher self did answer me, then everything else is a lot easier to kind of like manipulate someone with. You know what I mean? But I hate anything that tells you like, don't doubt anything, don't question things, don't whatever. Can't be that strong. Because if it was actually fully true, even if you doubted it and questioned it, they would be able to lead you down the path anyway. I'm just saying. Like, don't doubt anything that's coming through. Again, I feel like you would have to have a healthy kind of doubting it. Otherwise, yeah, you are just taking everything that pops in your head as the answer. Then they say, start writing down anything that is coming to you. Again, this is what they actually mean by journaling. And that's why I said, like, they're talking about their version of journaling, not the therapy version of journaling before. Because this is actually what they mean by journaling. Like, do these things. They don't mean actually sit with your actual thoughts and feelings and your doubts and, like, your critical thinking skills and go through all that and write all that down. No. They just mean do these activities that they tell you to do in these, like, lessons and courses and in all of their other writings, too. They always have some kind of activity at the end that you're supposed to be doing. So they may just write that stuff down. Keep writing until you feel like you have gotten through all that is coming to you. So if you're like me and your mind wanders all the time, you're going to be there for hours. If you are struggling to receive anything, then practice just sitting still, breathing, and feeling your body. Like, okay, like mindfulness, being in the now, being present, grounding yourself, like that kind of thing. This will help increase your ability to feel and strengthen your feeling centers. Again, more like chakras and whatnot. Document how you feel and any sensations you notice. And I'm like, yeah, this thing gives me a headache. Like, you know, ask you angels. And if you guys aren't aware, I actually released a short, it's a short one. It's about 10 minutes long and it teaches us how to talk to our angels. Yeah, that was a short little read that we did. There's a whole way to do it, apparently. So that's what they're meaning. They're meaning do those activities whenever they say ask your angels. And it's always 3. It's weird. Ask you angels to give you 3 confirms. Like, what the fuck does that mean? You need 3 confirms. Like, it just sounds so weird. Ask you angels, which is like awful grammar already, but ask you angels to give you 3 confirms on any piece of information or guidance you would like. Again, I think they believe that offering up more than just 1 confirm gives it some validity here, right? Because they're like, oh, well, we're not just taking the first sign. You need to have 3 of them. But it's like, no, that doesn't give it any more validity. It just means that it's going to take them longer sitting there trying to get 2 more. And even then, those could come to you like really quickly, especially if you're someone like myself. You have a little anxiety or something. You're worrying a lot, think a lot. You're a thinker. Like those of us that are like constantly thinking all the time, this would kill us. We would be here for 10 years just writing. So it's like, it doesn't work for everyone. And then you have like certain people, maybe they can't like sit with themselves for that long for whatever reason. All right. Again, some people just have very high anxiety and sitting still, or what if you have ADHD, or something. And you're sitting there and you're trying to ask yourself for your higher self for some fucking message. but then all you're kind of feeling is negative because, you know, you're not used to doing these activities. I'm sure even if you are taking them seriously, the first time that you would do this would still feel kind of weird. You know, therapy things like interventions feel weird when you first do them. So I'm assuming that doing something like this for real would also still feel a little weird, even if you fully believed in this, right? And then people like that maybe couldn't do this for other reasons, they'll chalk it up to them just not being like ready yet, and they'll like blame them for it, and they'll be like, oh, well, you're just not ready yet for your ascension. And it's like, no, like, not a lot of people can just sit there with themselves writing their feelings out for fucking 15 minutes straight. You know, like, that's not that weird. Not everyone can do that and comfortably. So it worries me, because then people are like being hard on themselves, and they're thinking that they're like failing at this big ascension journey thing that they're supposed to be going on. And really, like, you just have some anxiety, and this shit is weird, okay? Like, the end, you know? So now we are on course 4. But we have been going for an hour and a half, so I think everybody needs a little bit of a break. Because now is when, like, it does kind of start to get a little bit more coursey, if you will. I feel like the first few courses here is them just explaining to us, again, like, the creation of their version of Earth and, like, the galactics and, you know, Mother God and what her purpose is and blah, 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 that kind of thing. Like, that's what it is. And then, like, the last few get, like, a little bit more coursey. But the first few, it's just, this is how creation began. And this is why Mother God is here. And this is the us versus them mentality that we have. And this is why you're supposed to do this. And here's some homework. And then the homework, like I said, is always very general and just bizarre. Have we learned anything yet? Not if you've been here the whole time. If you're brand new to this content, then yeah, you're probably learning a little bit about the beginning of their belief system and what they believe the world to be. But if you've been following this for a while and you've seen, like, most of my content on this, you're feeling like this shit is very repetitive, and they just keep telling you the same fucking story of creation over and over again. And because they kind of do. So you got about 4 minutes, take a break. I need to grab another coffee, and yeah, we'll be right back after a message from our sponsors.
How do you know if your problems are the result of bad life choices or demons? And what do you do if your problem is demons? My 200-page book, Dealing with Demons, has answers for questions most are afraid to ask. Can Christians be demon-possessed? How can I know what's natural and what's supernatural? Dealing with Demons will teach you how to recognize symptoms that the devil is at work in your life or the life of someone that you care about. Learn strategies to avoid Satan's traps and walk in freedom and supernatural protection. Read Dealing with Demons and be one step closer to living in spiritual victory.
Wait, do you have a condom? You don't have one somewhere? Yes. Oi, excuse me there, sir. Do you have these directions? Sure, you just go down that way and make a turn. Don't let her know that your dinger is almost a no-go. Get Tiny Dinger condoms to you discreetly. It's very important to choose the right size, so make sure that you get your tiny size. Don't be caught without a condom. No, no, no. Get Tiny Dinger condoms, a YouTube streamer's favorite brand. Located at your local CVS pharmacy, Rexall, Shopper, Drug Smart, Walmart, and in your favorite streamer's nightstand. Are you someone who worships our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ? Do you believe women owe you what the Virgin Mary refused to give up? Is your life meaningless unless you can experience the touch of a woman, but not just any woman, a true Stacy? Are you tired of gym maxing? Well, we have the perfect solution for you, Giga Chad. Brought to you by the same people who brought you Tiny Dinger condoms, trademarked, a YouTube streamer's favorite brand. We now offer sexual endorphin spray to help attract the perfect Stacy. With just a few squirts. No, don't squirt that! Sorry. Today's content is brought to you by Sexual Endorphin Spray, trademarked. Just spray yourself with this fabulous fragrance, and the women won't be able to keep themselves off you.
I use a sexual endorphin spray to attract this dumb hoe. She hasn't left my kitchen or my bedroom since, know what I'm saying?
Shit smells amazeballs. The fragrance is cool too. It smelled so good, even Grandma loved it. And me. A little too much, actually. You can even use it at church, guys. The nuns wouldn't stop grabbing at me. Neither did the pastor's wife. Women will love the scent, guaranteed. He smells so good. I just want to rip off all of his clothes and then just take my tongue and then... Okay then, amen. Grab a bottle for yourself today, along with a box of Tiny Dinger condoms, trademarked, a YouTube streamer's favorite brand, and you'll be posting shorts on YouTube called From Incel to Giga Chad in no time. Sexual Endorphin Spray, trademarked. Be a Giga Chad right away and spray to get your dream Stacy today. Located at Shoppers Drug Mart, Rexall, Hartman's, RX Pharmacy, Home Depot, Chad's R Us, the grocery store, all the damn pharmacies, and in your favorite YouTube streamer's pocket. Now, back to our regular programming. Yes, now, back to our regular programming. And yeah, Jack said, I'm glad it tells me what I missed before, but I know quite a bit. You would only have to go to like a couple of my streams or watch a couple of my like shorter videos going through their readings to know this story, because I feel like they tell us it in like every single one. I think I could make up a religion by this point in life, Louisiana Swamp says, but not right now. It's lunchtime. Enjoy your lunch. Well, you listen to me ramble on, I'm sure. So now we're on to course 4, which is Age of Aquarius codes. So the golden age of Aquarius, which is allegedly what the 5D is, which the planet entered in 2012, is vastly different from the Kali Yuga or Dark Age of Pisces we have been in for 27,000 years. So now he gets into like some astrology stuff. It mixes all spiritualities, basically. During the age of Pisces, it was all about creating illusions, magic tricks, essentially to trick humanity into darkness. With this, we saw the lower energies of Pisces unfold. Illusion, fantasy, which one could argue this whole thing is just Mother God's weird fantasies, hierarchies, victim consciousness, which you'll learn about later, addictions, and etc. The age of Aquarius is a much different energy. I guess we're going to have to believe them, right? The age of Aquarius is all about freedom of information. Funny that they keep using that word freedom. No longer can secrets and lies be hidden in the dark. No longer can the truths be kept from humanity. Aquarius is also about community, gathering with others for a higher purpose. In Pisces, we were so focused on survival, we could not truly give or help others. We fell into deep self-importance. In order to be a match to 5D, we must accept the Aquarian codes of community, unity consciousness, service to the greater good, and acceptance and tolerance of all. Only lovers and givers will inherit planet Earth. All those who are stuck in low frequencies, takers, will be removed. And that just sounds horrifying. This is the age of awakening. The truth will set us all free. The first step in embracing the Aquarian codes are to be open to all new information. The way we have functioned on this planet is to reject information that threatens a belief system that we have. Funny that they bring that up. We then only seek information that reinforces our belief system, which is what we call confirmation bias. Again, funny that they're the ones to bring that up. This keeps us trapped in illusion, which I'll just say it again. Funny, they're the ones to bring that up. Forget everything you think you know. Yep. Just forget it. Empty out all belief systems, everything. This is when cosmic knowledge may come to you. This is when the higher self can connect with you. Listen, you gotta let them reprogram you right down to the bare core bones of your body. Actively observe yourself and how belief systems control your thoughts, actions, and behaviors. But not this belief system. This is the one you should have. Don't get rid of this one. Just all the other ones. Be conscious of where you hold judgments of yourself and others. Judgment was the age of Pisces, the false belief that God was judgmental and served punishment and wrath. The truth is that God is not capable of such energy. Only humanity is. Like, okay, where did we get it from? Anyway, our judgments are based on belief systems of right and wrong, good and bad, which must all be dissolved. All is simply experience. Which is funny because they have a very big problem with like victim mentality and stuff. So it's just funny that they say like, forget that there's a right and a wrong and a good and a bad. But then the cabal is bad. And there's a dark age and that's bad. And then there's people that are against us and they're bad. It's like, okay. Once you have begun dissolving these, more and more intuitive guidance will be able to be assessed. Yay? And then your homework for good old course 4 here, they say, take a piece of paper and write down all belief systems that you currently have. And again, that's a big feat. This will include anything that you categorize as good, bad, right, or wrong. Which there's nothing wrong with having a moral code. You know what I mean? I'm like, what are you telling people to do here? If you cannot feel into, everything's about feelings. Remember, you're shutting off your logic brain. If you cannot feel into what the belief systems are, here are some examples. And I'm like, oh, great. The belief that one needs to be pure or good in order to be part of God. The belief that one must work hard in order to succeed in life. And I'm like, so are you planning on opening a get-rich-quick scheme then? The belief that certain foods are bad for you. What if you have a food allergy, you know? Things like alcohol or tobacco are bad for you. They are, though. I mean, are you okay? Drink and smoke, everyone. The belief that things must make logical sense in order to be true. Oh, I see what you're doing here. Get rid of all your critical thinking skills. The belief that certain things should be done at certain times. How deep do you want me to forget that belief? That's worrisome. The belief that people never change. The belief that one will get sick and die as you get older. I'm like, are you not supposed to believe that you're going to fucking die? Because, like, no matter what, if you're a human on this earth, eventually you're going to die. Like, I'm sorry, but it happens to all of us. The belief that anything outside of yourself can bring you joy or sadness. And I'm like, okay, I believe that it does come mainly from within. But just getting rid of all these belief systems worries me when a group of people are telling somebody, get rid of everything you believe and then replace it with what we're telling you to believe. Because no matter what they want to say, this technically is all a belief system. So they're saying, get rid of all your belief systems and then believe this. Like, that's worrisome behavior. Culty as fuck. Take time to feel into each of belief systems, which that made no sense, and where they come from. Most likely, they will have come from your parents or family. I hope that most parents or family members have instilled good morals and values in most of the humans on this earth, but okay. Cut cords with these belief systems and see how you feel. Now, that brings about a problem because in some cases, in order to cut cords with these belief systems, you'd also have to cut cords with these family members, which they will also tell you to do. And I don't like anything that tells people not to have a relationship with their family members. Hello, Alps. 2012. Is this Mayan calendar bullshit? Yep. I thought all those cults went away after nothing happened in 2012. Nope. It sort of is. This has the same energy you get listening to someone in On Passive talk about how the last 5 LMs they were in all turn out to be scams. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So, I have an issue, just generally, with people being told to, like, forget all of their belief systems, throw their idea of good and evil or what's good and bad out the window and all that. But then they're told, and then believe what we want you to believe. Like I said, no matter what, this is a belief system. This whole 5D full disclosure stuff and everything you have to believe here, all about Mother God and everything, like that is a belief system. So they're not shying away from being like, I want you to forget everything else and only believe what we're telling you. We're the only ones. Hold on a sec, guys. My coffee is ready. My coffee is ready. Now we all know I need that. Or else I'll fall the fuck asleep. So now we're on to course 5. Good old course 5. If you're wondering, we're on page 18. There should be a link in the description. So this one is called Everything is Energy. Which, I mean, in physics, like, there's some... Anyway. It's not the same energy. Everything in existence is energy. Well, they try to make it sound like it is. Every single atom of consciousness carries a vibrational frequency. In this 3D realm, we are limited to our 5 senses of touch, taste, smell, sight, and sound. This is less than 1% of all energy in existence. When we operate only based on what we can sense with our 5 senses, we cut out 99% of the energy that is communicating with us. Like I said, it takes almost all of the weird culty belief systems and puts them together, including the whole, like, we can open up our minds and blah, 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 blah. Every action we take, every word we speak, every single thing we have manifested in our earthly experiences was a product of our energy. This is what many in the mind fail to comprehend. And I'm like, are we supposed to be comprehending things that aren't in our mind? How do we comprehend if not using our minds? And it goes on to say, the mind can only interpret information it understands in the 5 senses. It cannot understand anything outside of that. Like, well, we're fucked then. For instance, I'm glad they have an example. If you keep attracting similar experiences into your life, such as dysfunctional relationship, lack of abundance, lack of support, etc., this is a mirror reflection of the energy you are carrying. Once one understands this, it shifts our perspective. So it's taking like something that's basically saying like your attitude can affect your outcome out here in the world, which that's very true, but then it's taking it like one step deeper. That is dangerous thinking. What do you put in your coffee? I have mochas. I have like hot chocolate coffee is basically what I drink. So, again, like I said, it's not weird to think, okay, that if you have a bad attitude out here in the world, right, that you're probably not going to have the best relationships. You might fuck up experiences for yourself. I feel like lack of support is the same as dysfunctional relationship. But, it might be harder for you to get support from outside. So that's not wrong, right? That's a pretty reasonable way of thinking. But they want to take it and make it something deeper than that, right? They're making it sound like it's this big, profound thought that has to do with energy in 5D and all this. All energy must be expressed either consciously or unconsciously. Just like all thoughts must be expressed either consciously or unconsciously, I guess, sorta. Most of what we perceive and understand is based on the conscious energy we are expressing. I'm like, well, yeah, if something's in our subconscious, no, we're probably not going to be able to consciously express it. But anyway, then we get into all kinds of psychology shit. They don't even want to do that here. So they say, we fail to sense and see our unconscious energy, which is what we call the shadow side /programming/ego. For example, if you are having a conversation with someone and the other person has a reaction to something that you are saying, you may think, that's not what I said, or that's not what I meant. 2 things are happening here. Number 1, you are giving off an unconscious energy that goes deeper than the surface level words you are speaking. This is what they are reacting to or misunderstanding. So like your nonverbal cues and your attitude, let's say. Or number 2, the other person carries the same frequency, which is why it is triggering it within them, causing a reaction. Who knew that what you say could cause a reaction in people? Most of our misunderstandings between humans are became we are unaware, not because we are unaware of our conscious energy we are putting out. And because our words and actions often do match our frequency. This causes us to be out of integrity, fake, inconsistent, and unaccountable. Once you begin to notice the energetic patterns within your life, you can start to reflect on where the unconscious energy is within you. Yay! This will stem from stored trauma or wounding, ego programming, denial, or lack of accountability. And later on today, you're going to learn all about how to go from victim to victor, which will help you with your stored trauma and wounding. And then a little later on, probably in a week or 2, you're going to really start learning about the ego programming stuff. It's great fun. When we start looking at everything as energy rather than the surface level story, we stop taking things personally. Like, okay, everything that occurs in our external world is a mirror of us, but also is not personal to us. Sort of. It's simply energy expressing itself. And then I'm like, well, no. Like, if you say something that hurts someone's feelings, are you taking accountability for that? If you're just like, oh, it's just the energy expressing itself. Like, do you know what I mean? A lot of mixed messages here. When we are in the mind, which aren't we always using our minds? I would hope. We cannot see ourselves. That is the game of the illusion. Now we're playing games with it. Thus, we unconsciously create a reality that attempts to show us what is within us by mirroring it back. And I'm like, okay. Most beings do not take accountability for this and immediately want to blame, point fingers, and project onto others for why their reality is not as they wish it to be. We do this with relationships, jobs, government, media, etc. We blame and we play victim, which the whole like, oh, people play victim thing is really easy to say, but like people can be victims to things. I'm just saying. Like if someone's SA'd and then they say I'm a victim of this, are they playing victim or are they a victim of SA? Do you get what I'm saying? Like there's a time to be a victim, but you shouldn't have a victim mentality. And the way that they think of victimhood is everything that you go through, even your trauma and things that are very bad that happened to you, is because you agreed in the contract that you would go through it. So there's a lot of victim shaming and blaming going on that you're going to see later today. So it like these sentences of like, we blame and we play victim hits a little harder once you really get into that way of thinking, you know? This journey is entirely internal, which doesn't really sound like it because like the whole point is that we're all supposed to go up in the galactics. But again, I guess it's kind of internal because it's our soul going up and our body vessels are being left behind. Like Amy Carlson's was. I just hope someone also decorates me in Christmas lights. No, I don't. If you do that, I'll be very mad and I'll haunt your ass until the end of time. All transformation first must occur internally before it occurs externally. And I'm like, what do you mean by transforming externally? Like, is that the going up to the galactic part that you're talking about? I'm confused. This is why the initial stages of awakening can be quite painful. I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound fun. We must face all that has been stuffed down, bypassed, and neglected within us. We must take accountability for the reality we have created. Which again, I do agree, you should take accountability for the things in your life, but only the things that you should be taking accountability for. Sometimes situations happen to people. It's true. Look at like systemic oppression, for example. Do you know what I mean? It's as if they're taking things like that. They're not considering things like that. So they're like, you created every single thing that you have gone through, all of your pain, all the trauma that you've ever gone through is your fault. And you did it to yourself. When again, there's like certain situations like GRAPE or SA or DV or, you know, and they apply it to those too. And I'm like, no, if you're a victim of something like that, it's not for you to take accountability for creating. You know what I mean? Like there's times where you take accountability for the things that have happened in your life. And then there's times that maybe it's not you that needs to take the accountability. And that can also be healing, by the way. To know that it's not like all your fault. Although painful, this is what allows us to heal. Again, once you read Victim to Victor with me in a few hours, you're going to be like, no, this is not what, this does nothing. This is what allows us to find our true selves and to empower ourselves as co-creators with Source to change our reality. Remember, your soul is a co-creator. The goal is to be a co-creator with Source, Mother God. Sounds a lot like Ekankar now, right? Yeah, I know. Guys, it really does. So now we get into the homework of course 5. And the homework we have says, Reflect on the energetic patterns in your life thus far. Feel into any repeating patterns that have come up for you many times. The tests and challenges always give us a clue as to where we are being called to evolve. When we do not pass the tests will repeat, often in different ways, but with the same energy. And allegedly, this also goes into your past lives, because remember, you keep reincarnating on Earth and going through a journey of life, which is part of your ascension journey. So it's like if you didn't learn in your last life, then you're going to go through it again in this life. And then if you don't learn in this life, then you're going to come back again, right? You won't be ready to ascend to the source yet and be a co-creator with source, with God, Mother God. So there's a lot of that going on. The easiest way to identify a repeating pattern is to feel into where you often think, I always something, or I never something. Some examples are, I always end up being hurt, or I never have any support. Reflect on what energies within you are creating these patterns. Again, this is because it's all on you. These will typically be tied to your belief systems or wounding, like past traumas. It's your fault. When we have experienced trauma or wounding in our lives, that goes unhealed, we create experiences over and over to trigger that wounding. And in this case, you apparently met with Mother God too before you came down here on Earth and was reincarnated as the person you are today, where you basically told her to trigger the wounding over and over again with these experiences so that you could learn, right? Write a ceremony and ask to become aware of all unconscious energy within you. Ask to begin healing any unconscious wounding within you. Feel into what areas need to be worked on within yourself. And I'm over here like, imagine if that's how easy it was. Like to fix all of your trauma and any of the bad things you've gone through in your life that may be still affecting you today. If you could just like ask to start healing it, and then all of a sudden it like started to get healed. Like, it's just like, come on. Course 6. Course 6 is Ego Program Mind, and it's going to be the last one that we are going to be going through today. And then the rest we are going to go through next Thursday. And in between, I'm going to be really releasing a few of the shorter ones. And then some more of this will make more sense next week when we read through the rest. So course 6, Ego Program Mind. As previously mentioned, the ego program mind was implanted by the Atlanteans and Anunnaki into the collective consciousness. The root of the ego is fear, which is the opposite of love. I thought hate was the opposite of love, but cool. The ego was designed similar to a computer virus. And this is why they made us sound like fucking AI robots or something. It's silly. And once implanted into the collective consciousness, it could root itself so deep into the psyche that it would begin to pass through DNA. Now, that part I don't really understand, because I'm like, did it affect everybody's DNA? There's a lot of fucking DNA out here, okay? Everybody has a DNA line, So then you want me to believe that this was affecting everybody's DNA. Everybody on the earth right now has had their DNA affected by this thing. Okay. Doesn't sound too realistic, but whatever. The Anunnaki did this because of their great fear of humanity waking up, which would raise the consciousness to a vibration they could no longer exist in. And they did not want to let go of their control of Earth. Which we haven't even really been explained to us, like why they want control of us and to keep us in the dark, by the way. It's not really explained to us. It's like just to spite Mother God Amy Carlson or something. The Cabal minions, the minions of the Cabal, were then placed in high levels of the elite, including royal families, politicians, bankers, etc. Yep, the Rockefellers, they were definitely a Cabal minion. They promise. The ego ensured that humanity would keep themselves enslaved. That's what we want. It was enslavement. It's a little cringe to compare us to slaves too. May I just say I don't like it. Through fear. The root of all dysfunction on the planet is based in ego frequencies. For example, war, fear, power, over, and competition. Poverty, lack consciousness, fight or flight, which I take offense to. As somebody who constantly lives in fight or flight mode, thank you. I don't want to like that. What does poverty have to do with it at all? Abuse, trauma, which has more to do with fight or flight, is under abuse. Wounding, guilt, and anger. For death, they just have fear. They're just like fear. Pain and suffering is fear, attachment, and belief systems. Because remember, if you have other belief systems besides this one, because this is a fucking cult and a belief system, then you must be suffering and in so much pain. The ego program mind functions based on hiding itself. The ego actually fears fear itself. Even it has fear, damn it! There's fear within fear within fear. It's fearception. This is so pseudo deep. I want to bark. It's fearception, guys. It's fear within fear within fear. The ego programmed everyone's minds to have fear, and it fears fear itself. Ego first developed as a survival instinct. During our primitive history, we lived in a constant state of survival instinct. Like when we were like cavemen, learning how to create fire, so yes, how to hunt for food, how to build shelter, and etc. I think we needed to be in that survival instinct at that time. If we weren't, we wouldn't have made it. I'm just saying. As we evolved, the ego became more sophisticated, creating deeper levels of pain and suffering. Of course, it gets deeper. Like so deep, bro. This resulted in warfare, domination, okay, hierarchy, and slavery. We became not only afraid of the outside world, but of other humans. It might not be a lie totally. We then developed massive amounts of diseases and illnesses as a product of the fear living in our DNA. And now we get into the big pharma sucks and illnesses aren't real. We developed them all to fuck with this cult, apparently, and mess with the Ascension journey. We saw poverty, homelessness, and starvation. I think that's always been around, by the way. Like, even all the way back into the cavemen. Like, there would have been people without caves, starving, unable to hunt, poor to what poor meant back then. I'm just saying, like, it wasn't like something that suddenly came about or something. I think it always existed. Like in all societies, pretty much, right? Societies continue to evolve and create new ways to enslave themselves. And I'm like, I don't like this language. We created nations with borders, government, rules, systems, control. We need anarchy! I'm pretty sure everyone had a cave. Yeah, you could probably just make your own cave. But I'm sure there were people back then that, like, you know, they couldn't hunt for their own food. So I'm sure lots of people starved. You know, I think that that's just always been a thing. And we need rules and systems and some form of punishment if crimes are committed. Otherwise, we would all be like cavemen again, and we would all be acting up. Have you ever read Lord of the Flies? There's a reason why we have certain things in place. It's for the best of humanity. Sure, not everything's perfect. We could, you know, fix a lot of things. We can get into that in another time. That's a whole different rant. But to say that, like, we should just erase all borders, we shouldn't have any government or rules or systems or anything going on is just a little like, no, okay? These things are in place to keep society running smoothly and to help, you know, ensure that everyone has human rights and things like this. Like, we need that. We need that. But they say societies and cultures began passing on deep-rooted belief systems that kept everyone in separation. Our current society faces the illnesses of poisons, toxins, addiction, distraction, fear, self-importance, and addiction again. Yeah, it's on their toys. Addiction to information and mental processes. And I'm like, what is addiction to information and mental processes? Like, are you mad that people want to learn? I don't understand. Belief systems keep us limited in our ability to accept new information, including this one. If you have this, remember, I guess you're not supposed to learn anything other than what they're teaching you. When information challenges our belief systems, we then challenge the information. The ego is a defense mechanism built into the brain to deny anything that disrupts what it knows. Sometimes that's just critical thinking skills, but again, you're not supposed to have any of those if you're here. Therefore, the ego can only think based on the past or to worry about the future. The ego cannot be in the present moment of now because that is the unknown. And I'm like, isn't the future also the unknown technically, though? Anyway, love is the only answer to dissolving the ego. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. This is how we dissolve the belief systems, lower thoughts, reactions, judgments, defenses, etc. And this is how we indoctrinate you to not have any critical or logical thinking skills. This process takes time. Indoctrination takes less time than I would even like to admit. As part of the dissolving of the ego is healing our trauma and wounding. Now you know why we're stopping at this one. Today, there's a method to my madness. Trauma and wounding is the main way that we are kept in fair frequencies. All beings hold trauma and wounding both from this life and previous lives. I wonder if they would cure my CPTSD. This process is organic and cannot be rushed. The key is to not take anything personally, even though it's supposed to be a personal internal journey. To know that you are a royal angel. If you come over here and tell me you're a fucking royal angel, I'm getting a 5150 on your ass. I'm just saying. And to trust in your connection to Source. Again, Mother God Amy Carlson. The heart is the portal to New Earth, like the New World Order, and where we will find our true selves. I'm like, sure it is. Sure it is. Belief systems keep us limited in our ability to accept new information. When information challenges our belief systems, we then challenge the information. Are you noticing something right now? You're supposed to be noticing something right now. The ego is a defense mechanism. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Get that same page over again? Oh! Yes, it's in there twice. They really wanted to make sure you got that one. Haha, here it is. You know, that wasn't a bit. They put the same page in there fucking twice. Twice in a row. I'm like, okay, are you trying to make the book longer? Because this was like this is a decent length at 42 pages. There's one that's 92 pages long, and it's, oh God. I don't even know if we're going to do it. If we do, we might do it last, because it is just all of it all together, and it's a really boring read. I won't lie to you. I've already read it. But like, 42 pages is a decent length. Some of these are 4 pages long, which is why I released some in video form. So I'm like, why did you have to put this page in twice? Like, page 24 and 25 are the same pages. Legit same pages. Nothing new on it. So now we need the homework for course 6. And like, I wonder all the time, like, do they not come back and reread this? Like, do they just write this up like Bill Mess Productions does his shit, you know? And then prints it out and puts it on the website, passes it around. How did you not notice that page 24 and page 25 were literally the exact same? Like, you hit double on that one by accident in Canva. I'm sure you were doing duplicate page so it would all have the same background, but you fucked up and you forgot to change the words there. So now our homework for course 6. Read through the Ascension Guide, which you would have already read through at this point, and we've already read through it, by the way, and look through the complete list of ego frequencies and feel into how each of these frequencies are shown in the collective and within you. Feel into the ones you know are your biggest ego frequencies. And I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to know which ones that is? Like, okay. Because I just feel it out. Next, do an ego death ceremony. Don't worry. By next week, you're going to know what that is. Use the ego death ceremony guide for reference, because we're going to read through that. It's very short. Write down all of the frequencies you know you still have. You can always do all of them if you feel guided. Burn the ceremony and do this as often as needed. These ceremonies are powerful and help speed up the transformation process. Sure they do. Sure they do. Next, there's a part 2 to your homework. Read through the divine traits and read into each one. Identify the ones you feel you have not fully anchored in yet, or struggle to anchor in, and write them down. Next, grab a piece of paper and write down all of the traits you would like to anchor in more of, and preface them with the phrase, I am. For example, if discipline or integrity were on your list, you would write, I am disciplined. I am integrity. I don't think you can be integrity. You can have integrity, but I don't think you can, like, be integrity. I mean, you can be disciplined, but you can't be integrity. And then they say, use this list to do mirror affirmations 1 to 2 times per day. And yes, a mirror affirmation is when you just stand in the mirror staring at yourself and you say it over and over and over again. It's like when you're trying to teach a client, when you're in social work, you're trying to teach someone how to do positive affirmations. That's basically what they mean. They mean, go stand in the mirror once or twice a day and then read this list off to yourself. I am disciplined. I am integrity. I am love. I am soul. You know, that kind of thing. So, that is Awakening 101 training program. And the courses that we got through today was Course 1, What is the Ascension? Course 2, The Story of Creation. Course 3, Mission Earth Activated. Course 4, the Age of Aquarius codes. Course 5, Everything is Energy. And course 6, Ego Programmed Mind. Next week, we will do 6 to 10. There's only 10 of them. And by the end of today, I am going to be releasing From Victim to Victor, which will explain how to get out of a victim mentality. And that will help some of the stuff from today make a bit more sense. And after that, I will be releasing about the ego ceremony. So then you'll know what we were just talking about. So, of course, I want to stop here because I do feel like you need that information, which I'm releasing over the next 4 or 5 days here, in order for us to continue on. Up until then, we've already covered all of the stuff, like the glossary, the Ascension guide, the whole story of creation that they keep telling us over and over again. So that is the start, the very first training program lesson, if you will, that they tell you to do when you join this cult. And like I said, it's very much based off of Love Has Won. It's just a continuance on, since Mother God was found mummified, well, what the heck do they do now? They had to scramble and kind of come up with it. Like I said, I was hoping they would leave, but no, they just said, okay, how do we continue to run this cult and make money with colloidal silver now? As you see, I'm an Ascension tourist. So we're going to be touring the Ascension going forward every Thursday. And then throughout the week, like I said, stay tuned for the short versions of these readings. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Tell me what you think about this down below. And if you have any questions or anything, feel free to ask, especially if you're new to this. Yeah, the mummy, Mother God. That's right. It's a good thing she left that body vessel behind. Am I right? Yeah. That wasn't looking too hot. If you want to go and watch my documentary version of the Love Has Won cult, I do show footage of the body if you need to go see it. I'm just saying. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, if you have any questions or anything about this, feel free to leave them down below and I will do my best to answer them. And no matter where you are or what you're doing, I hope that you all have a fabulous, fabulous rest of your day. And again, I'm releasing Victim to Victor probably around dinner time tonight. So I'll see you again then. Take care. Mwah. Bye. And remember, don't join this cult.